What's up, everybody? Very consistent content creator here. We are today going to be doing something that a lot of people apparently have done, just nobody posts or talks about it. We are going to be putting a bigger pump and icebox in the E55, but not how you think. Now, I'm sure you've heard a bunch of people say, oh, I'm putting a bigger pump, I'm putting an icebox in the car. I'm going to be using the CWA400 pump, which is normally found in like BMWs or things like that, but I'm putting it in this, which obviously it never came with. I have to do some custom fabrication stuff and custom piping. It's not just a direct kit you can buy online that I'm aware of, at least. Everything pretty much from an icebox to the pump to all the plumbing to get it into the intercooler and all the electrical to connect it from the alternator to a relay to then go to the pump. Now, it seems very complicated, but I'll break it down in technical terms. But if you want to skip to me actually installing it, you can just skip to whatever number I put right here. I don't know when it's going to be. Now for these two, this is an 8mm and this is a 10mm if you're keeping track of what you'll need to remove the bumper. Now I'm going to do the other side. All right, so it's getting a little late, but there's a Torx that I have to do on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and then there's a little bracket that you have to push to get it to unclip, and then the bumper will pretty much just come off once those bolts and that is taken off, unless you have the underplate. Make sure to remove the underplate. I don't have it. I never run underplates on my car. Make sure to unplug your fog lights too. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll probably be cutting to whenever I get the rest of the parts. All right, guys, so we're here at the metal supermarket. We are getting some 5052 aluminum for down here. What I'm planning on doing is attaching it to the chassis rail here, down, and then attached to the pump. So shout out to Metal Supermarket for having all the metals, I guess. All right, guys, here are all the parts. We're gonna take you through it. So first, we've got some 8-gauge wire here. It's all black because it's supposed to be ground only, but this is gonna be my ground and my positive just because I wanna have a clean engine bay, and black wire just looks better. Then we got some tap-in fuses. This is what's gonna give my pump the signal to turn on. These are fuses for the main wire, the main power. These are gonna be like pretty much making sure if something happens to this wire that it'll blow. We've got some crimp-on adapters. This will be to mount the real wire to the alternator, and this will be to mount the wires together for whichever ones I need to mount together. These spades are going to be for the relay if I decide to go that way. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to go straight to these wires or to these spade connectors. Here we have the pump. So this is the Pittsburgh CWA400 pump. It is absolutely massive. Here we've got the hose from FabTech that will be going from there down into the pump. Here is the icebox from FabTech as well. Really nice looking. Can't wait to get that on. We've got some reducers for the pipes to go from the pump, which is I forgot the size actually, but bigger to smaller so I can actually fit these hoses. Then here we've got the adapters to go from hose to hose. I don't know exactly where I'm going to need them, but I know I'm going to need them. And then here we've got just a bunch more things from FabTech to actually get all this to work. So I'm going to stop talking. We're going to start putting this on. So let's do this. All right, guys, so I'm interrupting the time lapse. I just want to show you guys what I've done. So in here, I am pretty much finished with the whole fuse box part of it. So we actually already had from the previous owner a tap-in fuse. So back here is a tap-in fuse, and it has a 5 amp. So I just took this and then extended the wire, and here I added my wire that goes through here and into the relay. The relay is grounded because it is also screwed onto a ground, so I just grounded it on itself almost. So ground is done, the ignition is done. So now all I need to do, because this is a cigarette lighter fuse, is get this wire, which is already ran all the way from the alternator down here, and I have the 50 amp fuse right down here. It's a mess. There's things absolutely everywhere, but right down there, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is a 50 amp fuse right there. So that's a big a maxi 50 amp fuse. So that's going all the way from here, from the alternator, going to inside of here. And then inside of here, this is gonna connect up to the yellow, and then the red is gonna have another wire going back out from the same hole down around all the way to the pump to make the positive, which will be controlled with the ignition, which will be perfect. And then the ground I will make down there somewhere. I will find where I want to put it and just go like that. So I'll keep working because there's still a lot. I still have to do all the plumbing. Give you guys a quick update on the plumbing, obviously. So plumbing, we have the box in. It's pretty much in there. I mean, it's not really gonna move. Once there's water and everything, it won't do anything. So this is the pipe that FabTech supplies. So we got the connectors. This one is not fully screwed on just because I don't know which way I'm gonna orientate it yet. But down here, this one is fully screwed on. It's gonna pass through under this, which is a really tight fit. It's a mess. There's things just absolutely everywhere right now. But yeah, so I have one pipe going here all the way down to the pump. The other pipe is gonna be coming from somewhere in this vicinity down into the pump. The pump, I've done some test fitting with a buddy of mine that is going to help me actually fit this down here. And it's a really tight fit because this is quite larger than the other one, as y'all saw when I compared them. So it's quite difficult because these are also a lot of extensions and everything. So it's difficult, but we're gonna make it work. And my goal is to get it all done by at least tomorrow night. That's my goal. Have the car running by tomorrow night. So right now it is currently, let me try to get my camera to focus, 10:48. So 10:48 tonight, and hopefully by tomorrow it'll be done. I'm gonna keep working on this. I want to try to get all the electrical and all the plumbing done tonight, so tomorrow we just have the pump to worry about, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go put you guys on time lapse. All right, guys, so I've gone ahead and pushed everything into the garage. I'm gonna call it for tonight because it is currently 12:30 at night and I can't make any noise. And everything I need to do now is requiring the pump to be mounted. And obviously I cannot mount the pump because I don't have the bracket made, and I cannot bend and cut metal at 12:30 at night, obviously, because I am in a neighborhood. So I will have to come back to this, but a lot of progress was made today. We have the fuse box completely done. We've got the relay right there and power going out into the front along here, and then down under there's the cable. So that's the power cable. I'm gonna have to trim it, and I'm gonna use it for ground as well because I need to make a ground for the pump. But once the ground is made and the power is connected, I can't connect it because I don't know where the plug is gonna sit exactly for the pump. But once it is all connected, it should work perfectly. And the plumbing, same with that. I can't really do anything until that pump is there and I can see where the plumbing will go. So until then, I'll have to leave it like that. But tomorrow, hopefully we can finish this and we can finally get that pump mounted, working, get that bumper back on. I will leave it here and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, next day. All right, guys, it's the next day. We've got everything out again, and we are going to actually do this because I just realized that this is the return for the supercharger. So the supercharger, this top line is actually the line that is gonna bring back hot fluid. So we need to bring this and connect it up to go to the icebox at the top, and then this is going to be feeding into the pump down here. Not yet mounted. I'm waiting for my friend to be able to do that, but we can do this while we wait, mount it up to here. However I decide, not 100% sure yet, but we will do that. And so yeah, so I'm gonna go do that. And then electrical, I also want to figure out the ground, the whole ground situation, because I got the positive right there, but I want to figure out the ground. So let's do that now. All right, guys, so we got stuff absolutely everywhere. We got water here from my friend who brought it over, but stuff is everywhere. But everything is officially plumbed up. All the plumbing is done. All the electrical should be done. We're about to test it, but the pump is in. It is secure with the bracket. I will show that in more depth when it's more light, but everything seems to be good. We're gonna test out the relay here that I made. I think it should work. I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't. Right now, the pump isn't on and the key isn't in, so that's normal. So we're gonna have to test it with ignition on. Icebox is in. Icebox, all the fittings are tight and it's not really moving. And with the weight of the water as well, it won't move. So I'm gonna go ahead, test the pump. If the pump works, I'm gonna put everything back together, put some water in it, bleed the system, and then we'll be ready to rock. What is it, bubbles?
It's purple.
That's normal.
What? There's bubbles.
All right, guys, this is a crazy jump. It's been about a month and a half that I've had the system in. I've been doing testing, making sure everything runs great. As you guys can see, I got a new intake as well in the meantime. But as you guys can see, the pump is on right now. It is running great. In the past month, this did crack though, the lid. I'm gonna contact FabTech about that because I'm not sure why it did crack. But let me give you guys a rough overview of pretty much how the system goes. So if you're not interested in the whole technical part, you guys can skip this bit. I mean, this is also the last bit of the whole video, but I'm gonna go through every single like piece little by little technically of how it works, so that if you want to recreate this whole pump system in your garage or whatever on your car, you guys can. So I'm gonna take you guys first through the electrical system, and then I'll give you guys the plumbing system, and then that'll be it. So when it comes to electrical systems, we have the main battery in the back and the accessory battery that's under here. The only reason why I didn't use the accessory battery is because it is pretty small and I don't know how much I trust it to run a big pump like I'm running. So, and I can't bring it to the back battery because the length of the wire would cause too much resistance. So I actually wired it down here. I don't know where it is, right here, there we go. The red wire, and it's going to the alternator. So I'm sorry if you guys can't see the focus. I'm trying my best. But, so it's connected there to the alternator, which is a constant 12 volt when the, well, no, not when the ignition on it. It's a constant 12 volt 24/7. So it's coming from here in this red wire because there's an inline fuse right there, that little black thing you can see right there. And then it goes to 8 gauge, that goes all the way around here behind the intake and the whole engine, and then up to here where it actually comes up into this shock tower, this strut area. So here I brought it to this relay, which is grounded on itself. The yellow is the ground. So this is grounded on itself, and this is the positive in, this is the positive out. So the only way that this will actually like send positive signal out of the red wire is if the tap-in fuse that is under here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it in there, that little red wire that's all the way up in the air, that is a tap-in fuse. When that tap-in fuse actually gets power, it tells the relay to open up to let power from this cable to this cable, which runs all the back here, goes down. You can see it right there, you can tell, and then it goes under here, and I ran it right here. So here it runs all the way down to the pumps. That's the positive done for the car. So on the pump plug, what there is there's one big ground, one big 12 volt, and then there's one little 12 volt and one little ground. The reason for that, from what I know, is because since the pump has a computer for cars who are connected via ECU to it, it is actually supposed to receive signals to go like more or less speed. Mine's just on constant 100%, like 100% draw slash working. So I just have the positives together, the grounds together, and it runs perfectly. The computer is made in a way that like it knows, hey, if everything's together, just we get 100% power all the time. So that's the electrical done, and the ground is actually ran up to right over here. So right there, that is a factory ground. I just took it because it's the closest one to the pump that's under there. So I was just like, you know what, let me get a small, simple ground that I know will be effective because there's already things grounded on it. and I took it from there. When it comes to plumbing, this is actually the hardest part, but not really for the reason that you think. It's more because of an issue of size. Most people who install this pump, they'll install it in the trunk, but I wanted to be better. I wanted to be more OEM, so I installed it under the bumper where the original pump goes. However, that came with a big constraint, which is space. So as I'm sure you guys saw, the pump actually has those very big reducers, as well as the fittings and everything, which make each inlet and outlet very long, which made it insanely hard to get in perfectly under there. So let me show you guys kind of what angle it is, what it's held on with, and everything. So here's the pump. You guys can see it is kind of angled that way. So it's a 45 degree-ish angle, like leaning towards the engine side, towards the back of the car. And you guys can see the metal plate here. Now, it's not the nicest metal plate finish, but it gets the job done. This is part of my fog light, don't mind it. But it's connected to the chassis rail. It doesn't move when you move it. Like it moves a little bit, it has a little bit of flex, but because it's aluminum and it's really stiff aluminum, it doesn't flex. I haven't had any issues. I haven't had any rattling issues. Nothing's really happened, and it works all the time when I'm driving. Again, it's been about a month and a half. Now you can kind of see up there the reducer to like everything. That is the one area of concern kind of with it. It does take up a lot of space, so you have to angle it just right and get it in just right with all the pipes. I do have a pipe that has to do a whole like 270 degree angle to get into the intercooler. That is right here. So it is a little bit of a tight fit, which is why not a lot of people do it, but it works. So that's all that I really need to know. So let me tell you guys where the plumbing goes and what I use. So FabTech with the actual like icebox will supply this and this one, which fit right here perfectly. So this is actually where the return line is, because it goes to the top spraying, and you can see where it like kind of does the little rip current in there. And then this is where it takes in. There's also a little filter in there that'll take in the water into the pump. So it comes in from the bottom pipe right here into the pump's inlet. From the pump's inlet, it goes into the intercooler from the top port, because the top port lets it go through all the way, comes out the bottom port, gets pushed into, I don't remember whether it was V or IV, so I labeled these two because these are both the supercharger like intercooler bricks, the return and the actual like bring hose. I'm pretty sure this one, the bottom one, is actually the hose that'll bring it into it. This is the return hose because the bleed nipple is here. So I forgot to actually tighten this when I first I forgot to put it back on when I actually first started it up, and it actually all came shooting out. So this is the return. Yes, no, it's coming back to this. So this goes straight back down, and it just gets pushed right back up from down there. It just makes it cleaner to not have it go over everything. So it made it go back down, back up into the pump, into the icebox, I mean. So pretty much that's the whole system. So icebox to pump to intercooler from the top hose, then out from the bottom hose of the intercooler into the bottom hose of the like actual supercharger bricks, out from the top hose of the supercharger bricks, then into the icebox. And I did do some tests. This system actually got me a whole second off my 60 to 130 times. So if you're wondering if it's effective, yes, it is 100% effective. It helps a lot, and it just looks super cool. The amount of compliments I've gotten for the icebox is crazy. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making this. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. But yeah, have a great day, guys, and peace out.